All right. Welcome to It Is Unwell, the first ever podcast from Talia and Kaleah. It feels big. We've talked about it for a while.
We're ready to be here.
We're ready to be. I mean,
ready as
we'll ever be.
Yes.
In some ways, yes. Some ways, deeply, no.
Should we be here?
There's a lot of audacity it takes to get to a podcast.
God might humble us quick.
Yeah.
That's the prayer.
And for your prayer. Yeah. It took a lot to get here. Mm-hmm. Specifically, Paul with like 5 tripods in this room.
Specifically with the amount of tech in this room.
Yeah. Yeah. Of which I plugged like 2 things in. So yeah, I feel good.
Wow. I lost my lip gloss.
Okay, you have to. She just explained the lip gloss thing before.
Dang it, it's gone.
And it's honestly, I never knew this until now. And I've seen you with it.
Yeah. Well, it's officially gone. It's in the couch.
Are you gonna be okay?
I actually don't know. Wait, this is unfortunate. I always am self-conscious that my lip gloss looks like a vape. And so I hide it. And now I'm feeling even worse because it's not around.
So you can't prove
I can't prove anything.
Lip gloss. Everyone's just like, is it a vape? Is it a lip gloss? We'll never know.
I know. And it's metal. And I naturally will like tap it on my like lip or my cheek when I feel nervous or need something to do. And if you have ever seen a nicotine addict in action, that's what it looks like. So now that I don't have it, I'm also feeling like I have withdrawals.
Like having withdrawals
I don't
from
have
tapping your lip gloss is funny.
But
yeah. And no, but the hiding it, like the being self-conscious, nervous that it looks like a vape, so you're tapping it and then hiding it when someone looks, that makes it look like a vape.
I will like slip it in my sleeve, which if you've ever seen high school nicotine addicts, is what high schoolers will do with a vape. And so
I learned this.
I'm like
somewhere.
Slipping it in my sleeve, and so I'm like, I don't want people to see it. Like I don't want. And if anyone asks, what is that? Like, oh, it's Black Honey by Clinique.
Mm.
I'm robbing everyone of that opportunity.
I feel like you could offer that information up
before. Hey, by the way, in case you were thinking my lip gloss is a vape, it's not. I wish I had it to show
Disclaimer.
Disclaimer, it's not a vape.
Back pocket, small talk is just,
this is,
hey, fun fact about me, my lip gloss looks like a vape.
I still cannot find it.
I'm kind of nervous for you to just continue on without it.
I'm going to have to be okay.
Yeah, we persevere.
Somebody give me a pencil.
Somebody
get a Pavir. Shout out to whoever said that.
Yeah, we were at a wedding on Thursday, and I think it was for the prayer or a speech. It was a speech. Yeah. And they were quoting 2 Corinthians, and they're like,
as we do.
Yeah. They said, love always Pavirs. And
love
we went,
Pavirs.
Great.
And
great advice.
sync.
Great. Yeah. In sync, Isaac and I,
they
whip around.
Back.
We were like, oh, love Pavirs, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one. Wedding. Your family has been in town.
My family has been in town, whom I love so much.
What an adventure.
I love to learn more about the witnesses, the Jehovah's Witnesses. Update, if you didn't know, they can wear pants now. So,
but the men could always wear pants.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. And what else are they wearing, guys?
During lederhosen?
Cargo shorts only.
Kilts. It was only kilts for men until 2024.
No, men could always wear pants.
Men could always wear pants. Men can now have beards.
Women on the off days could wear pants.
Oh, for sure. You just can't wear them to your functions.
They don't call it function.
I don't know what they call them.
Gathering.
I really don't know what they're called.
Picnic. It's when they're at the temple. Do they have temples?
They have temples. Honestly, I drove by a building.
Church for DW.
And this is not like an offensive thing. I was like, oh, that looks like a 1920s schoolhouse. And they're like, yeah, we keep them tight. They keep them really small.
Who said we keep them tight?
No, they just like, no, they keep them really small. We did get into this conversation yesterday of They were like, how many people go to your church?
Oh, so JWs keep their local churches small.
Congregations, yes.
Are they trying to gather more JWs?
Yes.
Or are they like,
well, they're out on the streets with their carts.
Oh, yeah, I guess.
And like,
yeah, that's true.
Their pamphlets of like,
they're
what
doing
do you
the
do
most
when the
of
world
everyone
ends?
trying to gather people.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But they don't go over 200.
And then they just, I was going to say branch off.
No, because they don't meet Sunday mornings, they can all go different times.
Oh.
They meet twice a week too. So they've got one up on us. I mean, I guess
so. It's like, hey, you're
week.
Monday, Wednesday, I'm Tuesday, Thursday. But it's the same building. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Kind of like a charter school. Good for them, I guess.
Yes, like a charter school.
Yeah.
And now they can do
Now they can do
Now
they're breaking
pants,
through their uniform. So JWs are just kind of remixed charter schools.
I like that.
Yeah, except for you. Except for very different.
Except for not at all.
Yeah.
Except for they. Yeah, I can't get into it.
Oh, that's crazy. You guys went to Legoland.
We did go to Legoland. We did attempt to get on a few roller coasters. We were above the max on all of them, height-wise. Which is
height-wise? Are they weighing?
Yeah, you can't get on them if you're over a certain height. You also,
that's a thing.
According to Legoland's website, I rock with this before I start. You cannot get in without a child. So one of my cousins did call and say, "Do we need to find a child?" And I said, "Word it like that. You're gonna need to find a child. The feds are gonna come. The feds are gonna be on my tail."
Wait, that is so interesting. But I, as an adult, recently expressed wanting to go to Legoland. Ironically,
we did not need a child to get in. They said you actually don't need one. I think they just put it on the website to scare off the pedophiles.
Peds.
The peds. Peds and feds.
I mean, that I do like that, thinking about the scary men out there and women, equal opportunists. but yeah, that is disheartening when I'm like, I'm not a Legoland adult, but like just as an adult, I'm like, hey, what's happening at Legoland? I used to grow up here.
Yeah. Well, in case you were wondering, there is Legoland influencers doing food-specific Legoland reviews.
How many food spots do they have?
The only one I know
I thought they had like 2.
Is like Granny's apple fries. And like that's the only place I'll ever be like, also went and I was like, this is not.
I don't think I've ever had food from there. My mom was the like, we are packing a full, bag just for we're not buying food there.
If you grew up with a pass, you didn't buy food there. Because it was like we go to.
I was like homeschool kid.
Yeah.
And on my off days, I guess similar to the JWs, on my off days, I was going to Legoland.
Well, every day's an off day if you're a JW. That can't work. That's incredibly inside. Yeah, that won't work. Hey, some of it not.
Actually, every day is in fact an on day. They are working out in the streets.
Shout out.
I ain't never done door to door like that. Yeah.
Can you imagine if we went door to door?
I couldn't. I refused to do Girl Scouts for that exact reason.
And if they invite you in, you have to go in. If a man invited me into his home, I'd run.
Oh my gosh, how many JWs have been killed from that policy?
I don't know.
They at the end of the day, there's no way. Like, I'm just not going to tell my pastor or whatever that I like didn't go in.
Well, you'd keep.
But I'm like, hey, he had a knife behind his back. I didn't go in.
Obviously, I'm sure there's some sort of safety rule, but you do keep count. So,
yeah, like the Boy Scouts and the popcorn, huh?
Hey,
yeah. We all got to get our backs somehow. Whether you're a Boy Scout or a JW.
You got to get that New World system locked in.
Wow. They're probably the best salesmen. I like that we circled back to JW.
I like that we can't get away from it.
We try to get away from it, and it's like, it's just way too fascinating to me.
Yeah. I mean, it's so foreign from the door-to-door sales. I mean, other than Mormons.
Door-to-door sales.
I mean, they're selling...
like a solar panel. They're like, hey, have you heard of God?
They hit you with, I think it's like, what do you think happens when the world ends? And I'm like, if I was rolling out of bed, coffee cup in hand, sweats on, and I answer my door and you hit me with, what do you think happens when the world ends? And I don't know Jesus. I'm thinking, what would I react? I probably would be like, what? I've got a meeting in 10 minutes.
10 minutes and you just rolled out of bed.
The
thing is that like people know it too well now. Like they know, like people are just so locked into like, I can see what you're wearing. You're ringing my doorbell. First of all, like no one is coming door to door. Like my neighbors aren't coming up to my door.
Yeah.
And so it's like people just know the game too well that it's like, yeah, I'm hiding. I'm not home. You know, like I don't think they're catching anyone by surprise. Whoa. Who are you? Like, no, you've been patrolling the area for a while now.
When your religion can be turned away by no soliciting signs, tough.
Maybe we need to get to more creative marketing areas.
I wonder what the JW TikTok would look like.
That algorithm?
Yeah. Like what would...
I bet it blew
It's just everyone showing off their pants.
I was gonna say, I bet it blew up once the women were allowed to wear pants. They're like, fit check to the temple or whatever. We need to learn that term. Where are they going?
Dang it, I know.
Yeah,
Kingdom Hall.
To the hall.
To the hall.
To the hall. Pull up to the hall.
Yeah. Fun fact about Ashley's hall, somebody lives in the dumpster. Somebody actually lives in the dumpster.
Is it a JW?
No. I mean, I don't know how he identifies religiously. But not to be PC. Not that
I don't know how Z says what the
I don't know
what the religious, they just know this. Have they?
Yeah, like every time they go to take the trash out, they have to have like security
inside the dumpster.
I think the dumpster's in like one of those
dumpster
huts.
Yeah,
if you will, like the one outside of Starbucks.
Yes, we had to take it out, and I was like, someone's actively peeing in there, so I do not think I can perform this part of my job right now.
I've been peed on. It's not good.
You have to
shout out Darren. Throwback.
It's also not a child. I feel like that's the most logical explanation.
No, it was
I mean, you've been peed on by a child, I'm sure, but
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It took me a minute. I was like, I don't think I have. No, actually, my neighbor's kid peed on me.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
I peed on someone when I was a kid.
Ooh.
So
tough. We'll put that in your smear campaign.
I was fully potty trained.
Yeah, so was this kid.
It was also a man, like one of my parents' friends. I was like, I was comfortable. So that's really the explanation
terrifying. Paul is contemplating life.
The only explanation I gave was like, I didn't want to get up.
That's so tough. I didn't want to get up. And so you just peed on him? How old were you?
No.
Like 8?
Like no, I was younger than that.
Okay, that's better.
Like
I'm thinking
4.
of like
I mean, like like very much potty trained. Oh my gosh, my mom's gonna. I hope she blows up the comments. She was 10. Like
she was 15. It was really weird. We got kicked out of that church.
That's so funny. That's so funny because my mom was like, "You should like bring up this story," and I was like, "I'm not doing that." And it just naturally came up.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. No, you have to explain how you were peed on. Not by a child. A child's like, I feel like the most natural explanation.
I would have rather it been a child. I mean, I prefer not to be urinated on. Ideally.
If I twist my arm, someone has to pee on me. I'm not choosing adult. I'm gonna choose child bladder.
Yeah. The man. Once upon a time, Talia, Lauren, and I were in Hawaii on what was supposed to be a picturesque sunset cruise on the Nepali coast. It was none of that.
So, like, most frightening.
Unless you were Pablo, who loved Talia. He was the only one having a good time.
He's Costa Rican.
And whatever that other girl's name was with the red hair. We loved her.
Sarah. I will say her name because she was so amazing.
A beast of a woman.
Yeah. Like, probably could man that whole ship by herself. I would trust her with my life.
I trust her more than Dean. Shout out Captain Dean. I hope you have been fired.
Yeah.
Just kidding. I hope you
I'm
are safer.
Dean. You will be hearing from my lawyer.
Dean, my life was at risk for several hours.
Yeah.
And you did not care.
Yeah.
Anyway.
He didn't give a crap.
Yeah. Anyway, I got really seasick at one point during this cruise, the dinner portion of it. And Talia and Lauren were sitting inside at the bar. And so I was like, okay, I need to get out into the fresh air. I find myself.
Okay, wait. Let's clarify. We were sitting at the bar just eating our dinner.
Oh,
we were
yeah.
not. Yeah. I did just a solid clarification there. Yeah.
Not women who frequent bars.
Yeah. No.
Other than for food. Only case. Anyway, I find myself outside alone on the side of a boat, looking over the edge, just trying not to throw up. I've hardly eaten 3 pieces of romaine lettuce, trying not to throw up. And I'm approached by a smaller bald man. I'm a big girl.
Smaller?
For reference. He was smaller than I am.
Okay.
Do you
we could run that photo back. I would disagree.
I think I was taller.
Okay, yes. Sorry, height-wise.
I was taller.
But if we're using small, large adjectives, smaller would not be an accurate description.
I am taller than this man because I could see
he was slightly shorter. He wasn't a little man, though. He was taller than me. Yeah.
Yeah, but I could see his head.
An inch. Okay, we could all see his head. That man was bald.
This man quickly strikes up conversation. Is very kind, I think is a way to put it. Some would say flirtatious
is maybe another word. Yep.
I wouldn't say charming. I was not charmed. I was still thinking about throwing up over the side of the boat. But eventually, Talia and Lauren come out. Waves are beginning to crash over the side of the boat, and we're all clinging on to these little wires. And the waves are getting bigger.
Yeah,
and
Lauren's hand is sore from holding on to the side of the railing. I'm dripping wet, and it just feels like a wet chihuahua is standing there and just holding on for dear life, and we're just facing the waves.
And
Captain Dean gave no craps about just taking waves head on.
We are all in dresses. None of us are dressed to be soaking wet.
I made fun of that rash guard family when I saw them pull up.
I did too. I was
vibe check. It's a 3-course steak dinner meal on the Nepali coast.
You paid hundreds of dollars per person to be here. You came in rash guard. It also was a cloudy out. Yeah,
they were correct.
They were braving that little edge.
The waves, and they didn't care.
I still regret not going face down on the net, but that's a story for a different day. Anyway, waves are coming over the side of the boat. The man in front of me has had way too much to drink. And
there's a lot of people like that.
Yeah, there was no limit, it seemed like, on the boat.
Yeah, no limit for a very minimal safety features. Just taking waves and half the people sick in general. Yeah, it was some, I guess, irresponsible serving.
Yeah, and this man is continuing to be very chatty with me and touch my hands, and I'm like, okay, this is so bizarre.
Yep. It's not normal.
It's not normal, but there wasn't many places for me to go.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to sit on the open net on the front of the boat.
Yeah.
Anyway, he at one point turns to me and goes, I need to pee. And I go, uh-oh, this is not good.
There are bathrooms.
There are bathrooms on board.
They're inside in the cabin.
Yes. And at this point, there's so many waves. It's like we're in a downpour. We are.
It feels like it's raining.
It feels like it's raining.
I'm wearing sunglasses, and you can feel the salt on your eyes too. Because
you can feel it on your whole body.
Wind,
you're
and
crusty.
so we were genuinely covered in salt. When we got back to the car, you could feel salt on your skin, and we were wearing sunglasses because from the water, it was burning my eyes.
Yeah.
And so all of us are in sunglasses. So it also just looks darker too.
Mm-hmm.
So it just looked gray and dark, and I'm getting covered in salt and water, and people's drinks are flying in the air. And so someone's beer goes in Lauren's eyes.
The man in front of me's beer.
She goes, there's beer in my eyes. There's beer in my eyes. She's blind for the next 15 minutes. Like the most chaotic environment you can imagine. And then this guy turns around to Kaleah and is like, I have to pee.
Yeah.
Also, y'all met like an hour before that. Like so quickly.
Yeah.
Close.
And I just immediately go, uh-oh. And he's like, I'm going to pee. And I'm like, now? And sorry, there's an ant. And he goes, I'm peeing. And I look down and on
announce, like he could have denied it. Everything was wet. He didn't have to say anything.
Yeah, but his urine was yellow. Like at that point, and it's warm. The water hitting you is painful.
No. So you could tell.
The water hitting you is because it's coming straight forward, is like pelting you. I look down and his pee is running through my toes. And I have never, ever in my life, I'm already nauseous. I have a cup of what was once ginger ale that is now fully filled with ocean water because we're just getting destroyed.
Like random people's drinks, probably.
Yeah. And I'm standing in this man's urine going, what has my life come to? Why? When has God had enough?
And we came back from Hawaii like so truly wrecked. I mean, that was like not the only thing that happened. And that was just our girls trip. So it was the three of us and Lauren. And we probably sounded like absolute brats. Yeah. And like wimps because they were like, how was Hawaii? And we were like, hard.
Yeah.
Like it was really hard. But yeah, like there's no other word for it when you're in the literal storm getting peed on. And Lauren's blind, and I felt like I was fully exposed to the world in every way. So
yeah.
We'll
have Paul throw in a little video of what this looked like.
Yeah, we'll get that approved by Lauren. I'm sure she's always down for a funny bit. So
yeah, I was idiotic enough to take both of my hands off of the boat and just vlog for a minute.
Girl was just filming like she was having the time of her life, and I'm glad.
And I'm really notice.
We'll play it.
Yeah,
but like really notice the way that Kaleah's hair gets plastered to her face. Like the more time that goes on, you can just see that like she's getting more and more soaking wet. You can see like the water like glimmering off like my collarbone, like is like just pooling with water. One video you can see her drink actively just go into my face right behind. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, if you look at us and you think, wow, they're ashy. It's not ash, it's salt. We are crystallized.
Yeah, it was brutal.
It was one of the worst forms I've ever taken. Like that just is not.
It was feral. Yeah, I felt like fight or flight survivor, and I'm on a dinner cruise in a dress.
The kicker was we get off this boat, and I don't know if you remember this. This woman comes up to me because we all had to take our shoes off to get on this boat.
I do remember this, yeah.
And I'm going and I get my shoes, and this woman comes up to me and she goes, "What cruise did you go on?" And there was two boats. The same boat, same cruise. We all signed up for the same thing. We just were a big group, so they split us onto two boats, two different captains. I go, "Oh, the Sunset Dinner Cruise." Mm-hmm. This woman is bone dry, hair still styled, looking flawless. I'm standing there, white dress, soaked. My hair, which was once blow dried and straight, is now just curly, wet, stuck to my forehead. I have salt all over my body. And I'm sure from also being really sick, I'm like a little bit, like I just am
and
off.
From getting peed on.
And
You're
from
just
getting, I probably smell like urine. Like I've never been more wrecked in my entire life. And She looks at me and goes, "What cruise were you on?" And I was like, "The Sunset Dinner Cruise." And she goes, "Really? So was I." And I was so deeply offended and so deeply hurt by Captain Dean.
Yeah.
I said, how was it possible that everyone getting off that boat, I'm now watching
It's
people
dry. Yeah.
that are just dry.
No, he chose violent. He chose to do that.
And when we'll include this video, when we were on the boat, Lauren began to scream at Dean. She was like, "Look at me, Dean. Look at me." Because she's just getting destroyed. She can't see. There's beer in her eyes.
Yeah. Yeah, it was truly, truly awful.
An experience of a lifetime. If you go to Kauai, do not do a sunset dinner cruise unless you are going for like the adventure of a lifetime.
Yeah, dress appropriately for sure.
Yeah, like wear a
Nepali
swimsuit.
Coast is
Don't
beautiful.
do your hair. Don't wear makeup.
Yeah.
Bring
the
goggles.
whole staff was like, "Oh, everyone always overdresses." I said, "So put something on the website. Like if this
It says like business casual attire."
Yeah, they market it so misleading. And they were like, everyone always overdresses and then they end up like wet. And I'm like, well, you could have told us to wear a flipping bathing suit. So
Also,
yeah.
The staff was was a little bit outrageous.
I mean, you kind of have to be to work on a boat.
Yeah,
Except for
but
Sarah. Sarah's just
Sarah
like
was great.
Sarah's like
but
a
the
white
boys,
Moana. But like everyone else,
even the chef.
the chef was a little crazy.
The chef in one of the photos looks like he's gonna jump.
The chef,
us.
I was like, you might be a felon. You might.
How close can you get to schools?
Yeah, it was a little crazy.
Yeah.
I don't even know how we got on getting peed on. I mean, we were talking about Legoland for sure.
Oh, Legoland. I don't even
Yeah.
know what I got into. Legoland influencers.
Oh wait, so you were too short or too tall?
We were too
Well,
big.
you were definitely not too short for the kids ride.
No, we were too big to do anything other than walk around.
Wait, that sucks. I don't want to go to Legoland then.
Yeah, you can't
get
do
on?
anything. You could probably do the dragon coaster, or the safari.
Wait, I didn't even realize they had a height max. That's sad.
Yeah, there's height maxes. So we didn't, and some of the lines were just so long. And we were there on a weekday. I guess it was a Friday, but we did get into the minifigure trading game. You think stocks is hard.
That's a good setup.
Yeah. And everyone at the beginning of the day, you go into the store or you come in with one if you just have minifigures at home. You go and you buy a mystery one. They're all themed Star Wars themes, I think. I'm not familiar with Star Wars, but they were all weird characters. So you start with that one and you can go up to any cast member. I don't know if they're called cast members. That might be a Disney thing. Well,
Legoland
Disney
employee.
ones are called cast members. I don't know if Legoland ones are.
Wait, but what? Wait, so is the guy dressed up? Is the Legoland employee dressed up?
No, they're just like the normal like
employees.
red polo.
Yeah, okay, it's an employee.
And they have
Okay.
They have a little name tag on it. And
that's fun for them.
Yeah, and you can go up and typically
it probably gets tiring, but it sounds fun for break up your day.
Typically the people trading are children, because that's appropriate. No, not our group. Everyone's above 18.
You have to explain the breakdown of your group. Who went?
I had two cousins in town. One is 25 and one is 19. And my oldest cousin is 40.
So youngest being 19.
Youngest being 19.
Not a child in Legoland.
I'm battling a lot of shame in this exercise. I'm also treating it as like
it's a safe space.
Nothing's embarrassing. Nothing's embarrassing. Nothing. Like, you make things embarrassing. I'm embarrassed still. It's not working.
It's not working. The mental game is losing.
And I'll admit, like, going in once and like trading it, I was like, I traded once. I ended up with a little criminal Lego guy or hipster, whatever you.
He had a beanie, either way.
He had a beanie.
Beanie and stripes.
Beanie and stripes.
Could go hipster, could go criminal.
I called him criminal. And that's what I ended up with. That's what I stuck with for the rest of the day. Some of the group decided to trade all day. My cousin Sarah, I think at one point was making one that looked like her husband. Like, because you can pull just pieces of them.
That's cute.
She was like, I'm going to make a mini Calvin. That was cute.
Yeah.
Emma begins to build. We keep ending up at pedophiles. Emma begins to build what she
Paul's face to that. He's like, again?
run it back.
How many? We do a tally. How many times we can bring up pedophiles? In an episode?
Something we also never talk about naturally.
Not a natural topic,
but
not
today.
an accurate reflection of our day to day. Oh my gosh! Let the record show you brought it up both times.
I think all three have been me.
I mean, it's all been Legoland correspondence. Okay, I mean, like you have to. What is she
begins
trying
to
to
just
build
this terrifying? Well, she used pieces of what was the Joker, and then
she's trying to build a pedophile.
She was trying to build. I don't know. I don't know
if that word is allowed.
I'm not sure what she was trying to build, but by the end of the day, she was like, she was building a creepy man. It's the same.
Okay. Yeah.
I
don't feel better, but
yeah, I mean, she started with like the structure of the Joker. So like,
did she choose her starting point?
I'm sorry, she started with a mystery one, traded for one that looked like the Joker, then was like Joker face, but it's Joker, but like human face. So no makeup, but
green hair,
but creepy, and like I don't know, just all. I wish I had a photo of it. And by the end of the day,
if we get a photo, we'll add the photo in.
By the end of the day,
and by
she just built
Paul, but
yeah,
thanks.
By the end of the day, she just built something that looked really creepy. And she did put a little pretzel in his hand or something. He was just like a creepy amusement park guy.
Yeah. Okay. Ew.
Think
the exact model of what is
he
not
ends up
allowed
in a shirt
in
that
Legoland.
Says, I love Legoland.
No.
And is like,
no,
it's
Emma. I mean,
wild, but that's basically what we did all day. I mean, we were only there for a few hours.
Saw the Kardashians. I mean, the little ones.
Yeah, my oldest.
How would
cousin
you explain the Kardashian family to like people who never heard of them? I mean, there's probably
the royal
family.
A
lot of kids at church who have never heard of the Kardashians.
I'd consider them like LA's royal family.
LA's royal family, yeah.
Yeah, like
I'd be like, it's like a business family who wears makeup.
Yeah, but I feel like they just have.
But I think of like the celebrity of the celebrities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. You
if
can't
like,
just
what
like,
do they do? I'd be like,
status. Like,
yeah,
you're not gonna get TikTok famous and end up as a Kardashian.
No.
They're just up there. Anyway, one of my cousins happens to be very familiar with all of them, down to the children, which is terrible.
I mean, you kind of knew.
Well, after
you were locked in a little.
She pointed them out.
Okay, yeah, she noticed.
And she said, that's so and so and so and so. And I was like, oh, okay. Like that. And I then just sat there. Like she sat on the bench and was like waiting to see it. I definitely know who the older Chicago Dream, I want to say.
Is all the little ones. A little cousins. I don't keep up with them.
It was just a few little ones. I don't know the boy's name.
But it's funny because my brother, who used to work at Legoland, when he first got the job, I think it was like when he was interviewing, he called me and he was like, I saw Kylie and Kendall Jenner at Legoland. So they're just like frequenting.
It's probably a safe
Legoland.
place.
I mean, it's like.
Until we hear this out. I mean, not that anyone's going to hear this.
Until we post everywhere.
Hey,
guys, where to see the
Kardashian kids at Legoland. That's mean.
Dang. After we're like, there's so many pedophiles.
There's so
many. And then we're like, also these kids, here's where to spot them. Yeah.
Yeah. And honestly, I felt really bad about, I mean, they just had so many security people around them. And I was like, that's probably such an abnormal
childhood. Yeah.
But they seemed really happy.
That's
like
good.
They were running.
Good for them.
At one point, like one of them ran off and I was like, somebody's going to tackle him. Like somebody's going to get, like he's too far away from the group. He just ran. I was like,
and
okay,
just like
that's
normal
more normal.
kid. You like, hey, get back here. I love that.
4 security people's a lot. 4 security people and a nanny for 3 kids. And maybe there wasn't 4, but there was just 8.
Yeah.
They were surrounded.
I mean, they need that.
Yeah.
You know what? I really support Kardashians at Legoland.
I do too.
I love that
Kardashians at Legoland.
I love that they're getting out there and just having a little bit of fun.
Just like a little small town fun.
Do you think the employees are like, ma'am, you're too tall to ride? Like if Kim were to come on, or would they be like, we must make an exception?
No, they have to.
I would make an exception if I were there. I
immediately
said LA royalty. It would feel like fighting with the Queen of England. Rest in peace. But
yeah, I was thinking about the sizes of their butts. I was like, they're not. If they're
I did think about the ponies, and I went, hey, that might break the ride.
Yeah,
but like dragon roller coaster, yeah. I don't know, but hey, I'm glad that the Kardashians are getting their bag and enjoying some Legoland fun.
I enjoyed it as a kid.
The kids just get to, I'm like, that's kind of a normal childhood.
They were there
thing.
for
You're
trick
at
or
like
treat.
a little amusement park, and like you're not getting like nailed down by the paparazzi. Like that's awesome. I love that.
Yeah, nobody seemed to be bothering them other than my cousin. She wasn't bothering them.
Well, yeah, she was just like, don't look now. Yeah.
Yeah, but she
That's
was like,
awesome.
I want to see if families around.
Okay.
But to your point, I am probably more familiar with. I did go through a phase where I was like, I really want to be a Kardashian nanny.
You know what? Leave that door open.
And hey, Kim,
who
Chloe,
knows?
Courtney,
if y'all need anyone,
Kylie. I don't think I'd ever.
She would love to take your kids to Legoland.
No,
that's awesome.
Maybe. Who knows?
Wow.
Yeah, but that was
that's good stuff.
Yeah.
You
were in Texas. Right around
well,
then.
Yeah. I feel like we need to end this off with a cane word.
A cane word. I was hoping we had some that you didn't. I think you know all of them.
I'm
it's
like kind of rusty. I'll give the context of Kane while you're pulling it up. Kane is Kaleah's little brother. He's 17. He's 17. Wow, he's so big. I say that like I've watched him grow up. I've only known him since since he was 13. Yeah. He's 17 in high school, and he knows a lot more slang than we ever could. I mean, Kaleah and I are just like kind of out of pop culture, even though we do know who the Kardashians are, like not this cool. And so we ask him to educate us every time we see him. We're like, Kane, what are the new like words that the kids are saying, kind of thing. So we're going to end off that like each episode with like giving a Kane word just to share this. It's education, just so we can mark the podcast as educational. Really.
You truly know all of these.
Okay, you got to pick a random so we can at least just educate the masses.
This one I'm not great with, but Nelk.
Nelk. I remember the word.
We do have it used in a phrase. He said, drinking and driving is Nelk. The reference was me driving with a protein shake. That's drinking and driving is Nelk.
Nelk? Is it bad? Like bad connotation?
No. He did use, yeah.
It's not bad. He said drinking and driving is Nelk, but it's not bad.
Yeah.
It's just like, I'm going to use so many words and sound so old. That's hip. Like, that's
like
cool.
he said.
Does he think drinking and driving is cool? Kane.
Well, I was drinking a protein shake.
Okay.
And I'm gonna hope that that's
Or does he mean like wild? Like that's a little crazy.
I'm assuming it's like
I feel like that
somewhere in the middle.
Yeah,
like,
it's just like whoa,
driving with a protein shake.
Like whoa, like what?
He also just
she's
like,
wilding kind of thing. Of like, dang, that's Nelk.
Yeah, I think
we could be using that so incorrectly.
The rest of them, you know, one I love that we have just forgotten about, cornball.
What? Wait. Is that like a goof?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah.
Just calling someone a cornball.
He's cornball.
He's a cornball.
I like that the kids are calling each other cornballs.
That's a lot safer
pure.
than yeah.
That's a lot safer than a lot of things.
Feels Midwestern. Hey, you cornball.
You cornball.
You cornball.
A little corny on the cobby. Yeah.
Oh, you cornball.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's good stuff. Wow. Episode 1 in the books.
In the books.
Time flew.
Rolled through so much faster than I thought it would.
Yeah. I mean, Paul's sitting there like, no, that felt
Paul's
like
been on his phone for about 45 minutes
like,
going, this is the worst
like a
day
full
of my
45.
life.
I ain't never doing this again.
Paul's on a broken chair. That I didn't tell him was broken until he brought it over here.
He's like, can I just get a backrest? We'll take care of you, Fall. All right.
Okay.
Episode 1.
In the books.
Thanks for listening.
If you didn't enjoy it, don't tell us.
And
if you did, tell us.
I love that. All right. We're out.
Bye.